We're going to start here, though, with the Suns, and a question that is going to have to be answered here, I would think, relatively soon. They don't need to hire a coach like tomorrow or a week from now or whatever. There's not a rush to do that, but they have to get real comfortable with the idea of hiring a first-year head coach, or they have to know that that's not the way they're going to do it. Here's Mat Ishbia on with Burns and Gambo last week. They asked him, okay, the Budenholzer hire was pretty disastrous. The Vogel one, I don't know if the Vogel one was disastrous, but it only lasted a year. So how do you learn from that when you hire the next head coach?
Well, two things. One, we got to set the tone at the organization level about what we're about here in Phoenix. We're not going to just hire any coach that just comes and fits in and get any player that's talented and put them in there and see how, we're going to say this is what we're about and this is how we're going to play. And I think I referenced at the press conference, Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't know if you guys, I'm not a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, by the way, but it's just their football program or organization, it's very clear what they're about there. Michigan State basketball, where I came from, it's very clear, we're going to block out, we're going to hit you across the chest, we're tough. There's certain stuff that you just know about Tom Izzo, Michigan State basketball teams. Phoenix Suns have to have an identity, and we have had no identity, and we have to have an identity, then we have to pick a coach that's aligned with that identity.
There it is right there. It is. And this is the reason why James Jones is so important to me. James Jones is a guy that is sitting around that big rectangle who played the game at a high level and, oh, by the way, was really good. He was a good player. And he's won championships. That's why I want to hear from James Jones. When we talk culture, what do you see? Do you see Kevin Durant? Do you see Kevin Durant when you talk Phoenix Suns culture? Because right now I don't.
See, I don't even know if it matters anymore. I hear what you're saying, and it mattered before, but now it's you almost just have to move them because you have no other options. I was talking to somebody about this over the weekend. If this was Major League Baseball, where there was just no limit on how much you could spend, and Mat Ishbia could just spend like the Dodgers if he wanted to, I wouldn't move Durant at that point. Give me Booker and Durant, and keep saying, put a bunch of dogs around them. And you can go out, but you can't add anybody if you have Durant and Beal.
Right, but there's just one problem with this, and I love Kevin Durant. I do. I appreciate his talent so much, and what a great guy he is. What a great basketball player he is. He's just not built right for this team. He's not mentally, spiritually, in his soul. He's not built right for this team. You listen to Matt. We want to be tough and physical and a bunch of dogs, and we want to build this culture that is, exactly what we're going to get and the kind of team you're going to have here in Phoenix. This is what he's talking about. I don't think KD would buy into that culture because that's not who he is. He's just a guy who's going to go out there and he's going to ball. That's what he's going to do. He's not going to be some dog. And because of that, I think this is why I do believe they are going to move KD. They're going to have to.
Mat Ishbia.
Because you can't have a guy, by the way, Luke, who's your best player. We're right there with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, who isn't going to model what your culture is.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do that, Luke, to say that this is who we are, except for KD, except for this guy, of course.
See, it's tough on this one because
everyone looks up to this guy.
But he puts in the work, though. This isn't like a guy that won't practice. You know what I mean? This isn't like DeAndre Hopkins a couple years ago.
But I think that Matt, I could be wrong on this, is not talking about practice. I think he's talking about how you play the game.
I would agree.
Okay, so I think that's what he's talking about.
But I feel like there's a way where
we're talking about practice, man.
You could put that team around KD and he wouldn't hurt that team. It's just the problem is you can't put that team there now without getting rid of KD.
Yeah, but see, once again, Luke, it's a belief that you have to have in how the game is going to be played. So you go out and you find guys who are going to believe like that as well. But here's the problem. When you bring them in, they believe what your culture is all about. The problem is one of the best players, if not the best player, doesn't model that culture. You can see the problem. You're already starting to bang heads with your culture and with your people.
Well, and then on top of that, it sounds like they didn't have much of a connection with their coach from the players or from the front office to the coach this past year. So they obviously have to They have to get the coaching hire right. I know this varies in people's mind how much the head coach matters, but I think we saw this year that you at least need to have a coach that buys into that culture and is going to emphasize that culture. Mat Ishbia, when he was on with Burns and Gambo, was asked about what he's looking for now in his next head coach.
Someone that's like us, someone that's bought into the way we want to do things in Phoenix. And so what I mean by that is someone that believes in a lot of the same things that we're going to believe in and talk about. And they're not just like play hard on defense and compete, like not buzzwords. I'm talking about like there's little things. Like I can get to really low nuances that you might not think are important, but I do, and we're going to talk about these things here in Phoenix.
See, once again, I mean, this is just talking the way that he's talking. Forget about the words that he's using. Just the things he's saying is, we're going to get tough around here.
It seems like that's
the conviction that is there is stunning.
The lesson or whatever you want to call it that has been learned in his first 2+ years. It's been 2 years and 2 months since he took over the team. That he's learned that's because we talked about this last week. Like you look at what he's done for just the team off the court and the people who cover the team and the former players rave about how much better it is with Mat Ishbia there and the practice facility and what he did for the Mercury too. Like Mat Ishbia, this is why the Stephen A. Smith stuff last week and whatever that was so ridiculous. Everything except the wins and losses has been an A or an A+ with Mat Ishbia, which I know that's all secondary to wins and losses, but that wasn't an A or an A+ before. So he's done that stuff. I'm sure he's looking at the team and being like, what am I doing wrong? And to your point, it seems pretty definitive that he's like, what I'm doing wrong is I was chasing talent over toughness. And right now, that's not working. It just isn't.
Right. So what do you need to do? You need to get talent that is tough. That's what you need.
So you've got Booker. I mean, if you keep Booker, he's talented and tough.
I think if you surround him with tough guys as well, that Book is going to mirror that. It's one of the things he does. And I think Book is developing. He is. And I've seen it, Basinonians. I know you're saying, if he's 28 years old, are you kidding me? If he's not a leader now, he's never going to be a bull. I've seen it. I've seen it happen with a guy. He just had to develop that part of himself and understand and be self-aware that I need to do this for the benefit of all of us. And I think Book is there. Just don't think his coach was.
Yeah, whoever the next coach is, first year, 20th year, whatever, they need to let Devin Booker talk to his teammates.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.